Alright, so I'm here with Mom here in Old Town Rosenberg, and interesting, I think Aunt Alice was one that told me a couple years ago that Rosenberg was actually a prison after World War II, or during World War II.
Oh, where they would send them into a camp.
Yeah, to send prisoners of war from the German side, and I guess they adopted the name Rosenberg because that's a German name.
They closed this off here, see?
For the flood.
This used to be a see-through. No, this used to be a see-through.
Oh yeah, you used to be able to go through here, yeah.
Yeah. Used to be able to go through here, and that's where the White House, the grocery store was.
Right.
And then over here,
I remember that place.
over here they're redoing, like they just built this. We don't know what it is.
We're not sure. It's a questionable activity, but we'll find out.
There's a snow cone place.
So you would say at one point this was downtown Rosenberg. It still is, technically.
Still downtown. It's supposed to be like one of the number whatever, I don't know, down on the pole. Antique shoppers know it in Texas, South Texas. It's supposed to be
kind of like Fredericksburg.
Yeah, people come. Look at all the people here, and I have no idea where they're at. I want to know where's the action. At one time, I know they were doing plays and stuff like that, and we actually, Aunt Alice and I came a couple of times, but then it kind of like it closed off.
Right. Pretty cool.
And now
but they've kept it up. It seems like they've made more of an effort to keep it clean.
Well,
over the
restoring. Yeah. The city was giving some funds to restore certain parts of it. And look at all the people. You know, look at all the traffic. Look at all the cars.
All the cars.
They're antiquing. See that? Did I go too fast? Whoa! Hit the charger.
But interesting story though. There's a movie theater we passed. Movie theater we passed on the right down. What street is that? Whatever. It's one of the main Third Street. And it's an old movie theater. It used to be an old movie theater called the Cole Theater, owned by the Cole family. Years ago, probably, I guess maybe in the early 2000s, a friend of mine's mother somehow acquired the property, and the place had been vacant for years. And we actually went in there and started just trying to redo the place, and her goal was to open it as basically like a variety theater, where she would just put on various events and, you know, talent shows and kind of weird things like that. I'm not really sure exactly what the vision was, but the neat part was I got to be there and help kind of clean the place out and check it on out. It really
was. Played there?
Yeah, we actually played there a couple of times. I mean, I jammed there a couple of times. But she was more into country music, so she was kind of gearing it that direction, like an old school. What was that show? Like country variety show, like, you know, something like a, you know, maybe like Hee Haw. I don't know, Hee Haw. Okay, maybe not Hee Haw, but something like that, more country oriented.
It's called like
a variety
like
show.
Opry show.
Yeah, like a Grand Ole Opry kind of thing. Exactly. That's more of like
exactly what she was trying to do. Yes.
And anyway, so during the cleaning out process, we were just taking things in and out, and we uncovered a lot of cool little things in there. The bathrooms were segregated when the place was originally built, I guess sometime in probably the 30s or whatever. So you could still see on the wall, even through a few layers of paint, where it said, you know, whites only and blacks only. And you know, at the bathrooms, we uncovered underneath the marquee outside, which has now been removed, there were there was some writing in German and some swastikas on the side. They're still there on the building. You just can't see it because they've covered over it. But apparently, I don't know what it said, but it was just from that German influence during that time. So it's very interesting. And here we go. Anyway, this is the location where my grandparents had their Mexican restaurant for how many years? It's like 25 years, 30 years, close to 30 years. El Toro Mexican restaurant is now Bull Creek Cafe, that my uncle Mel now runs and owns, and they do really well.
Very well.
It's good food. I'll get some footage here probably on Monday when I eat a chicken fried chicken.
Tuesday, because they close on Monday.
Or Tuesday, when I eat a chicken fried chicken, which is going to completely destroy my calorie intake for the day, but it's going to be really good. So that's cool. I mean, that's where the original sign was. He kept the pole.
There was originally, when I was a young girl, there was a bear. And you can ask your dad.
It was a bear?
Yes, it was a humongous polar bear, white polar bear. It was called the Dairy Treat.
Oh, the actual location.
The actual location. Grandpa, when he bought the property, had that bear removed, and I don't know what they did with it, and we cried forever. We wanted to put that bear in our backyard.
Wow. Well, where do you think he put the bear?
I don't know. He gave it away. Somebody, maybe someone that was trying to hold on to the past, probably purchased it from him. You're not going to throw it away. It was a beautiful old, like, all you have to do is repaint it.
The humanity. Right here, we're driving through Rosenberg. This isn't anywhere near where the flooding took place. Well, we're close, I guess, but not on this main area.
On the other side.
Yeah, it's on the other side, down that way. And the old movie theater was right here.
It's a church, I think.
It's now a church, but there's a movie theater right there. It had two screens, and I remember seeing E.T. there.
Yes.
I remember.
My memory is E.T.
I remember seeing Goonies there.
Old Dairy Queen.
Old Dairy Queen right there.
New
Dairy Queen. Well, you gotta have a Dairy Queen. You've got to have a Blizzard in your life.
I have a $15 gift card.
But at the movie theater, it was really cool because I think before they built a new one downtown over here. I got to see Return of the Jedi there. So I'm actually so old that I got to see one of the original Star Wars in the theaters, which is a coveted title these days with the rebooting of all the Star Wars. Oh, so they turned this movie theater into a Planet Fitness.
That's the only thing that finally brought it back.
They're not judging anybody in there. It's a judgment-free zone. Did you know that?
What's that mean?
It means there's no judgment in there. That's what they call it, the judgment-free zone.
I don't know nothing about that.
There we go. Here's Oak Bend, which was Polly Ryan, which is where I was born in 1977.
Yeah, the guys are still here. Look, see, they have all of these new.
Now we're in Richmond, Texas. We've crossed over city lines. Now, was there a big stigma or like a thing when you were a kid, like, oh, you're from Richmond, or you're from Rosenberg?
No, it was more like Rosenberg Richmond was like sisters, and it would be more like the rivals were the big high school in Stafford, Dulles against Lamar constantly.
Right.
They were rivals.
Oh, here's Jamie's Dairy Treats. They still make some pretty solid stuff there.
They make some good ice cream. I don't know about anything else.
The place looks like, I mean, they haven't touched it since 1945 when it opened or whatever.
She's not going to touch it. She makes money like that.
This was an old Exxon for the longest time. Remember they used to have the Tiger right above, or is that up here? Because I remember Dad told me he used to work there, change tires.
I think up here. I think it's this one.
Oh yeah, it might be up here. Oh, there it is. The Tiger's still there.
Oh, there's the Tiger. You're right.
See, there's an app. There's several apps where you can download.
I mean, this used to be a jail bond or whatever. Then they turned it into a really nice coffee shop, and then all of a sudden it's back to a jail bond.
Well, they had to pay the bills.
Exactly.
You gotta feed the money. Anyway, there's several different apps out there that you can download to find different. What do you call it? Like a
bridge, Brazos, baby.
Oh, here's the Brazos. Okay, I'll tell you in a second.
I don't know if you can see over the edge. Over here.
No, I can get this right here.
Look over here. Look over here. Look at that brown bridge over there. They said the waters got so high that it moved. That's an old dead bridge.
Wow.
It moved it. It moved it out of the way. I don't know how many inches. It's good in the paper.
Wow.
On the way back, we can get a better picture. Because there are cranes and everything out there. They're trying to, I guess, restabilize it.
Here's Larry's Mexican restaurant. It's another legendary spot.
Yeah, he was the first full-service Mexican restaurant, and then your grandpa was the second.
Right.
But he was the first one in Richmond.
Well, yeah, same.
And he was the first. Grandpa was the first one in Rosenberg.
Right. Right. So.
A full-service Mexican restaurant.
Not just a little taqueria.
Not just a taqueria. Exactly.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. There's really cool apps you can download to find various like tourist stops, just odd things to check out, instead of just hitting the typical spots, like the Texas Monument or Battleship Texas or NASA if you're coming to town. But you can download this app and you can enter a location wherever you're going, and people will upload just really neat, odd things that are kind of out of the way, like that tiger that we passed back there, and then they'll rate the stop, like how cool is the whatever it was that you saw. And so I downloaded the app when we went on that big road trip a couple years ago, me and Andrew and Victor, And so we stopped at all these crazy little places that were never busy because they weren't typical tourist attractions. But you find some of the neatest things when you just kind of step off the beaten path and get into a little more history of an area. So I found that a lot more interesting on the road trip than just going, just to the big spots all the time. So the big spots are still cool,
But I'm sure, but it's nice to see them.
It's like just urban history, just kind of stuff that happened locally in an area that maybe didn't make the 6 o'clock news, So it's pretty cool. And look, there's the river.
This is where the I see famous here and everybody. This is San Carlos. This is the street that I grew up in. Not grew up. I guess they booed me out when I was 2. Grandpa remembers the year I was born. It flooded out over here. Look at that. Oh my God.
Wow.
That's probably what it was over there. This is like our Katrina, people are saying.
Can I say that again? Fort Bend County is one?
Fort Bend County is like the fastest growing community right now. Sugarland is exploding.
Right.
Now, because it's exploded and it's overflowing, they have 10 new subdivisions behind Kroger's back there. It's Brazos town.
Right.
Yes, and people are just moving out in droves. I was looking I had taken Victor to look at cars in some areas, and I called this one gentleman in downtown Houston at a Cadillac sale place, and they had a car there. Victor went in to look at, and he says, "Oh, where are you from?" And I said, "Rosenberg." And he says, "Oh, I know Rosenberg." He says, "My wife and I are looking at a house. I think we're going to buy a house out there behind your big Kroger's, your new Kroger's out there." And I said, "Oh, please don't move here." I feel like telling him.